this topic, I will make sure I do my best to explain to you some different techniques how to handle the indices, so that at the end of this tutorial you are able to do an indices question. So to start with, we should know what is indices. So this term, as the term indices says, indices is a plural word of a singular word called an index. So basically we are dealing with an index of a number. So what is an index of a number? So for now, as we have been told in our respective classes or lessons, we've been told an index behaves like a superscript. Behaves like a superscript. So I know if you are doing computer, you are able to know what is a superscript. If you're doing chemistry, which most students tend to do, we know of the term superscript. So this is a base x and having a power of y. So in other words, index can be referred to as a power of a term. So we have it like this one. So that means x is a base number and then y is an index, of the term x. So when you're writing a natural number, you're writing a number like 5. So and you're told what is the index to this one, that is 5 to 1. Always there is a 1 power, but we don't write it. We normally write 5, but we know its index is a 1 up there. So after knowing now index are powers, now we should know the different rules that govern this one. But I won't dig much deeper into these rules, because maybe when you're doing the multiplications, the logarithm, the reciprocals, you have done them. So my point now was to do some questions under this topic, and for you now to know if that is the technique now you will be using to do the other index or indices questions. So, and feel free to be posting to our channel whenever you encounter a problem, so that in our future videos I will be making videos for which maybe I see there's a need for, from the comments or when people are talking. So now, I've said there's a base and a power. So the power is what we refer to as a index. So when we have similar, so maybe I do a recap of some things which we do when we are operating the index. But remember, there are laws of indices, so maybe I will mention a few. Okay, so rule number 1. So let's do rules, so that now you know the rules. So rule number 1, any number except 0 whose index is 0 is always equal to 1. So we are meaning any number having an index of 0, the answer to that is a 1. So i.e., when we take x raised to 0, the answer is 1. When we take 2 raised to a 0, the answer is 1. Any term, you take some term, you raise by a 0, you find it is being raised by a 0, the answer to that one is 1. So let's do the second one. So the second rule which we will mention here is to multiply any expression, an expression with the same base, copy the base and add the indices. So under multiplication, we add the powers. When the terms have similar base. So an example to that one is like 2 multiplied by x, 2 raised to x, and then you find that there is a multiplication there of base 2 again, but up here you have, let's say, let me use real numbers. So 2 raised to 2 and then 2 raised to 3. So the answer to this one is you copy the base and then you do the addition of the indices. So that turns to 2 raised to 5 because it is 2 plus 5. You add the indices so that now you arrive to the answer, your answer. So next one, the next rule we will be dealing with now is a rule for the division. So whenever we see we are dealing with an indices question, and under that indices question there is a division sign. So the rule that is governing division in this aspect, let's say you are given 2 raised to 3 and then you are supposed to divide that one. You divide it by 2 raised to 2. So remember the idea here, common base or similar base. The numbers here. So if we had 3 and 2, the bases are different, we can't do this one. We can't do it. But if we have, so because now for you to use indices and the bases are different, 2, 3, divide. This one is not, the answer is that one. Because you are turned into its simplest form, just leave it that way. But for the test, under the questions that are written in indices, you will find that whenever you are dealing with this question, you have to arrive to a similar base number so that now you use the value. So in division, you take the base, you subtract the powers. So remember, for the multiplication, we add the powers. For the division, we minus the powers. So we pick the first one, we minus the second power. So that is when there is a division there. So now, another rule maybe, if I can mention. So to raise an expression to an index, copy the base and multiply. So you find that you can find a question that we won't write it here, but let's say it is 2 raised to n, and then you are told this term raise it to n. So what do? You multiply the powers. When open, this can be the fourth one, the fourth rule. So you multiply the powers. You will find that there's some question you will be using, and you find there's a term, and then there's another raised outside there, an index outside of a term, a base number with its own index. So you multiply the powers to open it. So this turns to 2 into 3n. So this one now turns, this is the index, the new index. When you open this one, if this is was the idea. So if we had 3 here outside here, we were dealing with 3. So you open the bracket, 3 multiplied by n multiplied by 3, you get 3n. So it is 2 raised to 3n. So you open the bracket by multiplying the indices. So before then, you are done. Number 5, you are done reciprocals. So reciprocals, how do we write reciprocals? Like 1 over a. This is written how? You can write it as a multiplied to an index of -1. To an index of -1. So this is a reciprocal. So you find that when you are told, let's do an example here. When you find your terms, you are simplifying and then you arrive to, let's say like 2 -3. So how can you remove this negative here? This one can be written as 1/2 raised to 3. This is the answer to this one. So this negative is 1/, so that is reciprocals. So reciprocals, so you did the previous topic. So let me continue. Okay, so maybe now we do an example of these rules, but then okay, so let me find a question so that now we can do the questions for indices. Okay, let's continue. So these are, I will be tackling the 2 questions. So we are solving for x, we are solving for x. So these questions, you find that when you're given an indices question, they won't tell you use indices. You yourself, you're supposed to check. Like this question now here, you're told solve for x. So you have to know, because you are dealing with powers. So here we said it is like 1. So when you are dealing with powers, you have to make sure that when you are dealing with powers, whatever happens. And then, so this one is so it is 9 raised to 9x. Okay. So and also this one, so you're dealing with powers. So you won't see a minus. By the way, these are the firm rules for this. And maybe I failed to mention the last one for when we have let's say, let me rub here and insert it. I don't want to be erasing our terms. So have I written any here? No, here. So I think we mentioned until the 5th one. The fifth is here. So the 6th one, which I failed to mention, is how do we represent roots? Roots in this one. You find that now when it is root 3 of a, how do we write this one? This one can be written as a raised to 1/3. And this maybe you could be knowing by now. So when we raise to a power of 1/3, what we will be doing is this one. So that means also if it is square root of 2, so we are doing a square root of 4, this one can be written as 4 raised to 1/2 to the power of 1/2. So how we represent powers for the roots and square roots. So square root. Okay, so let's solve this one. So after you find such a question like this one, you're told solve for x. So the purpose for you to do indices, we said an NP, common base. You can't be doing indices when we're having different bases. So that means we have to convert all of this to a similar base. So like now for 81, let me use my calculator, I will show you. So 81. So what number and to what power can we raise a number to get 81? So maybe when you see these ones, all of this number, they are like in the mathematical multiplication table for 3. 3. These are 3. So when I take, you can try it also. 3 raised to 3, that is 27. It is here. So this term, 3 raised to 3. And then remember we return the other term which was there, the power x. This one is for this one. So let me again do. So we said all of these you should convert it to base 3 now, because you have identified that all of these are into power of 3. Okay, let's continue. So the 81. So there was a multiplication here. 81. I think it is 3 raised to 4. Let's try. You can prove it also. That is 3 raised to 4 is 81. And then we return the 2x. So I've said for you to solve these indices, you have to convert the terms you are given into a common base. There will always be a common base. So it is upon you now, when you find these similar questions, you try and convert them to a similar base. If you do so, you are good to go. Okay, is equals to 327, 729. What power is that? That seems 6. Let me convert 6. Yeah, it is 3 raised to 6. And that is the answer. 3 raised to 6, it is that one. Okay. So, for this one here, I come below here. Okay, that is 9. So that is 3 squared is 9. We retain the power that was there, x. After you have converted, you open the bracket. So here it is multiplication to open in the bracket like we did here. We said you multiply the terms, the powers to arrive to there. So it is 4 multiplied by 2x. So that turns to 3 raised to 8x multiplied by 27x. Oh, okay, so there's nothing. Oh, wait, it is here. Just a bit, okay? So this is I should erase 27. So it is 3. The powers multiplied is 3x is equals to 3 into 6 over 3 raised to 2 times x, 2x. Up to that point again, you come back to our formulas. Which formula applies here? Now, there is a multiplication side here. So that means the multiplication, similar base numbers, you add the powers. So we should add 8x plus 11, plus 3. 8x plus 3, so these two to be added. So that turns to 3 raised to 11x is equals to 3 raised to 6 over 3 raised to 2x. Over 3 raised to 2x. So again here, what do you do when you reach at this point? Again, didn't know what happened here. So that it won't confuse you. So this one, the 9 was below these two terms here, not up to this one. So the second one is here, 2x. So again, what is here? Division. So this is division. So what do you do? If there is a division and we have similar common base, we subtract the powers. So we take 11x minus 2x is equals to 3 raised to 6. So we do this one. So this is 3 raised to, when we take 11 minus 2, that is 9x is equals to 3 raised to 6. So now when you have an equal sign, maybe I did not say when I was saying, when we have an equal sign, we ignore the base, we take the powers. And that is how now we finish solving it. We take the powers because they are similar, same power, so we take 9x is equals to 6. So divide by 9, divide by 9. So the x is equals to, when you simplify further this one, 3, 2, 3. So the answer is 2 over 3. So make sure if you don't understand, just come back a little bit to that video, go back again or redo the video so that you can understand further, because if you understand the logic, you will be applying them. Just understand the laws and you are able to do this question. So let me erase this part so that I can do the second part. Okay, let's do the second question. So as I said earlier, I said you should identify which mathematical or multiple you are dealing with. So in this case, we said we are dealing with multiples of 3. So in this case, you should identify the lowest, like now these 2. So you say, what can you do to that one to get to 2? So it is 2 raised to a 1. So when you raise it to a 1, you get 2. We return the x. So divide by, so no matter what, you have to do every term separately. That's why you see, for my case, I tend to go to the farthest, come to the phone, because it is finding the multiple. Then I pick my now calculator, if I'm using a calculator to identify. You can use also yours. We have said it is a multiple of 2. So you take 2 raised to 2, there is no 4. So the next one is 2 raised to 3. 2 raised to 3, there's 8. So I'm doing it to show you, but you should be knowing these small terms you have to do them manually. But it is okay, you have to do them because you've been doing, you don't waste time, but it's okay. So before the equal sign here, the 8 is written 2 raised to 3, we get an 8. Then we return, so you can write it this way, the term up there is 4. So that now we can open the bracket later. So to get 64, so let's do for 64, then 2 raised to 6, yeah. 2 raised to 6, we get 64. So there's no power for 64. So we have done for 8. 32, I think it is 2 raised to 5. 2 raised to 5, yes. So there was a division here. So 2 raised to 5. And then we retain what was there. So 2 raised to 5 it is this term, 32. So, and then I said after that you take the formula, so we are using the rule number 4, which says when we have powers, we open them by multiplying the powers. So 5 multiplied by this one, so it is 2, 5x minus 15. We open the powers, we retain the division, we open the second one, that is 3x minus 12 again, okay, the equal sign 2x, 2 raised to 6, division 2 raised to x. So this step we are doing now, we just opened these brackets. So the next, so don't jump spaces, because if you jump spaces, you will get yourself in trouble. Why? You might confuse a term. You will write a term and you find at the end, oh, that is not the term. Okay. So after you have made all the powers to be equal, now you come to the first equal sign. This is a division. What do you do? So we said when we have a division, we subtract the power. So that means we take 5x minus 15 minus 3x minus 12. So we subtract the powers. Also, we come to the equal sign to the other part, because also we have an equal sign and we have 2 terms. So that is 2 raised to 6. If there is a division here, so we said here when we are doing division, we subtract the powers. So that is a 6 minus x, 6 minus, we minus x for that power. Okay, so we see if we can simplify. Let's work out this one separately down here. Oh yeah, so that is 5x minus 15 minus 3x minus 12. I want us to solve this one. so that we can return it to where it was there. So we are simplifying this one directly. So we open this bracket. There's a negative outside the bracket. So I want to use a black pen. Okay, so this is 5x minus 15 minus 3x minus multiply by positive or minus positive, we get a minus 3x minus and minus turns to positive 12. So collect like terms, 5x minus 3x, that is 2x, 15. Okay, so 15 minus 15 plus 12. So you can do it on the calculator if you can't do them manually. So you have a debt for 15, you pay 12, as we were told in primary. You have 15 as a debt, you pay 12, also you remain with a debt of 3. Negative 15 plus 12, you get this one. So we returned it to where it was, so that is 2 into 5x minus 15, oh no. So we have a new answer, which is here. So it is 2 raised to 2x minus 3 is equals to, this other side we only have 1, 2. You cannot simplify 6 minus x. This is an inequality, you don't know it. So it is 2 raised to 6 minus x. So what did we do at when we were finishing this one? We said when we have an equal sign and two terms, we equate the powers. So we ignore the denominators, we equate the powers. So let me equate the powers. So that is 2x minus 3 is equals to 6 minus x. Then collect like terms. This x comes to this side, it is a negative, turns to a positive plus x. So 2x plus x, 3x. There's a negative here, negative 3 comes to the other side. This is 6, this is negative, comes plus 3. So that means this is 9. When you divide to simplify to get x, you get that divide by 3, 9 divided by 3, the answer is a 3. So the answer is a 3 for this one. And if you could have done that way, now you are good to go. So the idea is simple. Know the rules, they are not many. They are for addition, they are multiplication, division, when we're having a power raised to a 0, when we are having powers, multiplying powers, opening brackets for powers, and also when we are having a reciprocal, and lastly when we have a term that has a square root in it, maybe fourth root, that root, no matter the root it has. So you should be knowing how we represent the roots in indices. After that one, we said the first step for solving that one, find the multiple at which those terms fall. Like here we identified that they fall under 3, so we put everything into this 3. And the questions will always be that way. Okay, up to this point also, we do we identified the multiple here to be 2. So we placed everything with 2. Then we started looking at the formulas. There's a division here, we subtract the powers. So we took the first term, second one. I did it here because it is long, so I expanded this one, opened these brackets. So when I simplified the collecting like terms, we got 2x minus 3. So we returned it to the owner. The owner was here. So 2 raised to the power, which we have here. And then this one we return because 6 minus x, this is 6 minus an inequality. So the two terms are not similar, so you cannot subtract or do something to this one. So we leave it that way. So after we have made sure that we only have 2 terms, like now this one, the simplified format for this one, we got 2x minus 3. So we have 2 terms with simplified powers, the index. So we equate the index because the base are similar. You cannot equate the base, so maybe we could have done it here also. That is another rule. Rule number 7. You write them well so that they guide you. When you are having A, B is equals to another A, so that means similar bases, and this is having X. So how do you solve this one? You take B is equals to X. So B is equals to, so that means what? So if A is having a power of X and A also is having a power of 2, then X is equals to 2. So and that is the concept we are using here to solve. Also here we used that concept to solve for X also here. So make sure when you're dealing with this one, find the multiple at which they fall, find the related formula or the rules that you're supposed to apply, and then you will get yourself a mark for indices. So, or if you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and also remember to click the notification so that whenever I post a video, it reaches to your notification so that now you can view the video. Otherwise, if you have any question, post on the comment section. I will be picking them and also doing my future videos on the same. See you.